If you weren't aware, there's a 30-day rule here in Arizona when it comes to DUIs and license suspensions. This is very important. When you have a consultation with our law firm, we will want you to answer the question of yes, you want to challenge your license suspension, or no, you do not want to challenge your license suspension. This is very important. We have 30 days to challenge the license suspension, and when you hire our firm, we need to know that so that way you get the benefit of being able to drive or not. So let me explain how this works a little bit more. When you get a DUI, the police will arrest you. They'll usually take you to the station. They'll take you to the DUI van. They'll draw your blood. Let them draw your blood. Different piece of advice there. But in theory, the police should give you a pink piece of paper called an admin per se at the top. This is basically where the police are saying that they arrested you with probable cause for a DUI. They may or may not have, of course, the blood results yet. If they blow into the big and Toxilizer 8000, they'll usually have the results right then and there. The point is this pink piece of paper has the instructions written on it. It has 2 boxes as well that'll get checked saying, did you give them your blood? If you did yes, which is right, they'll check the box saying you have a 3-month suspension that is going to kick in after 30 days. If you don't give your blood and they have to get a warrant, they're going to check the box that says there's a 12-month license suspension. There's a 12-month license suspension. You absolutely have to hire us. There's no question about it. You need to do that immediately. Okay, immediately. But there are some situations where people don't actually get that pink piece of paper. Sometimes it's actually white now as well. But that piece of paper is what truly kicks off the 30-day period, where we as your lawyers have 30 days to submit our paperwork to ADOT in order to allow you to keep your driver's license. Okay, so when you hire us, even if you didn't get that piece of paper, we're going to submit that for you if you give us that permission. Okay. The next thing we need to know about is what is the benefits, what's the cons here of this. Okay, again, you're making the decision here. Let's pretend you have the 12-month license suspension box that is checked, or let's just say you know that you did not give your blood. When you hire us, we're going to tell you, again, 99 times out of 100, you should challenge this. Let's do it as soon as possible. We have 30 days to do it, okay? If they don't give you that piece of paper, then technically we actually have more time, but it's like super, super sketchy because MVD will claim that they mailed it to you and they never mail it to you. So the deadline is like very mysterious. So you have to do it as soon as possible. But now let's say you have the 90-day suspension, okay? If they have the box check that says the 90-day suspension, how that 90-day suspension actually works is you have 30 days to decide whether to challenge your license suspension or not. So technically for 30 days, you still have the ability to continue driving. That pink piece of paper that they gave you, that is your new driver's license. That driver's license, pink piece of paper, must go with you everywhere whenever you're driving a car. We also recommend you go to MVD, go get an identification card. That way you don't look silly trying to hand in a piece of paper at the bank with your identification, anything like that. But nevertheless, that pink piece of paper, you have 30 days to decide whether you want to challenge your license suspension. The way the license suspensions work here in Arizona is this. If those first 30 days go by and you do nothing, automatically day 31 the license suspension will start. Okay, MVD in theory will send you some pieces of paper saying the license suspension has started. They'll kick in a bunch of other requirements as well and a few other letters. So day 31 it starts. 90-day suspension. Of the 90-day suspension, the first month is 100% no driving whatsoever. Arizona technically just passed a new law that you might be able to get an interlock during that time and maybe you can drive. Whole nother topic there. Then after the first month is done, month 2 and 3 are what is called the restricted period. So you can get a restricted license, which is a whole new driver's license. On it, it says restricted, bold red. That will allow you to drive to and from work, school, counseling classes, and court. So then after the 90 days is up, those 3 months are up, then you can reapply. You have to do a screening. You have to sometimes get pay fines, all that stuff with MVD that they require. So here's the ultimate question though, is clients, when they hire us, we're gonna ask you, do you want to start your suspension now? Once the 30 days finish, start that suspension immediately? Or do you want the benefit of being able to drive longer? And that's what we as a law firm provide to you. We provide you that extra time to keep driving. Because most people say, you know, well, shoot, I can't lose my license really at any point in time. They have to continue to drive for work, school, you know, for childcare, all kinds of different things. So most people, again, this is probably like an 80% of all of our clients, will say, yeah, Zach, we want you guys to challenge our license suspension. What that does is it basically prolongs. That first 30 days where you can keep driving will continue for months and months and months until we eventually have an ADOT hearing. That's basically a trial with an ADOT judge to see whether that license suspension should be valid or should be voided, okay? Again, it's more technical stuff that we deal with on your behalf, but it's your benefit so that way you can continue driving for, you know, sometimes 3, 4, 5 months after your DUI, and then the 90-day suspension may or may not kick in at the end of that, okay? We also do that for another reason, super, super helpful for you, is if we think that we can get your case dropped down to maybe a reckless driving, or of course the DUI completely dropped, then you absolutely want to challenge that license suspension early on, right from the beginning. Because if we get your whole DUI dropped, then that whole suspension can potentially go away anyways, which is a huge benefit, saves you a bunch of time, money, hassle, and you know, you just have to carry a piece of paper with you basically for months and months as your driver's license. Now, some people though, again, this is probably like the 20% where they say, hey, Zach, you know I have that benefit. I know I have that right. You guys can do that for me. But guess what? I'm not driving anyways. Maybe my car got totaled. Maybe summer started. You don't have a job. You're like, I'm not planning on driving for a few months anyways. So I'd rather just get my license suspension done and out of the way. Totally your choice, your benefit. This is your life, you know, your future. You can make that choice. A lot of people do. We have someone who said, you know, that they're actually going to go, you know, basically be a snowbird for summer months, and they're not planning on driving the whole time. They're in, you know, North Dakota or whatever. So just know that there is that benefit and that option if you're not planning on driving whatsoever, okay? Then you might as well just get your license suspension done and out of the way. Again, it's hard for us to kind of, you know, sometimes tell, are you going to have the chance of getting your DUI fully thrown out or drop to a reckless driving? But either way, that's the pros and cons to this. This is a question, again, that we're going to ask for every consultation. Again, strongly recommend you hire our firm to do this. Don't trust other law firms that don't do this. Your public defender won't ever do this. You shouldn't try and do this yourself. ADOT is extremely confusing. They give you the runaround. They send you pieces of papers that never show up, and they claim that they do everything right. And there's literally a law that says, as long as MVD says that they mailed you something, MVD is not liable if you don't get it. So all the rules go against you and favor MVD in these ADOT processes. So anyways, please, if you are considering hiring us, please think about this beforehand so that way you can make the most educated decision about your ability to continue driving, and or if you want the license suspension to start now or start it down the road. Thank you.